Hi everyone, welcome back to your maths lessons for this week. As I said yesterday, today we're going to continue with making equal groups. So before you start, the things I would like you to get would be a pencil, some paper, and some objects such as pasta or Lego or some books that you can use for your counting and to make equal groups for me today. You might even want to use your little dollies or anything that you might want to use. Okay? So before we begin, we are going to go with a bit of a flashback of some activities that we have done previously. So I would like you to answer these 4 questions for me. Okay, so now would be a good opportunity for you to pause the video and continue with these activities. I'm going to move to the next slide. So let's have a look at our starter for today. So can you use the pictures to complete the sentences below? So I would like you to have a think about there are something trees. There are something apples in each tree. There are something groups of something apples. So let's do it together. So first of all, before we begin, there are something trees. So how many trees are there? Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to write the number 4. You can also write these sentences out on your piece of paper and you can solve them along with me by pausing the video. So the next part of the question is, there are something apples in each tree. So that means I can't just look at the first tree, I've got to look at every single tree to make sure that they are equal. Equal. Equal groups. Equal groups. So let's find out if they are. 1, 2. So I could even write number 2. 1, 2. So that is equal. 1, 2. That is equal to 1, 2, and that is also the same. So we have equal groups. So there are, well done, 2 apples in each tree. So there are something groups of something apples. So how many groups do we have? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well done. So I have 4 groups of how many apples on each tree did we say? Well done if you said 2 at home. So I'm going to write the number 2. And then finally, how many apples do we have in total altogether? So let's count them in twos. 2, 4, 6. Well done if you said 8 at home. So there is 8 in total. That was just a bit of a challenge question at the end for you to try and solve. So let's move on to the next one. I'm going to ask you to try and solve this one by yourself. So I might make the video screen a bit bigger for you to see. Maybe a little bit bigger. There we go, for you to see. And I'm going to move myself down to here. So there are something ponds. So the first thing you have to do is work out how many ponds there are. There are something fish in each pond. So the next step you'll have to do is to work out if each pond has an equal amount of fish. The next part of the question is there are something groups of fish. And then finally there are something fish all together. So pause the video while you complete this question, while I move on to the next one. So I'm going to go back to my screen being a little bit smaller for us to get everything on our page. So Violet and Ollie are using blocks. Who has made equal groups? How do we know this? So how do you think we could solve this problem? Talk to your mummies, daddies, your brothers or sisters, or even your teddies if you have some by you. So the first thing we are going to do is we need to count who has an equal group. So let's check with Violet first. How many has Violet got? Well, she's got 1, 2, 3 groups. How many groups? 3. Well done. Let's count how much is in each group. 1, 2, 3. So we know that there is 3 in the first one, 1, 2, 3 in the second, and 1, 2, 3 in her third group. Has she made an equal group? Yes, she has. So I'm going to write equal underneath for us to see. Nice and clear for us there. Let's double check now what Ollie has. So he has 1 group, 2 groups. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, Ollie has 4 in his first group. Let's count the second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So has Ollie got an equal or an unequal amount of groups? Well done. He has unequal groups. Oops, Miss Missouri's done a mistake. So we know that Violet has equal groups, and we know this because each of her groups has 3. So I'm just going to go through at the bottom here. Violet has made equal groups. She has made 3 groups of 3 blocks. Ollie has made 2 unequal groups. He has 1 group of 4 blocks and 1 group of 5 blocks. So well done if you solved that at home. So I'm going to start showing you how to make equal groups now. So Alina is making equal groups of 5. How many equal groups is she making? Well, we don't know. We'll have to count them first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So she's making 5 groups of, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what we want in every group for them to be equal. So let's check her first group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does it have 5? Yes, it does. So underneath, I'm going to write 5. Let's check the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Has she made an equal group? No. So we have to add how many more? If we had 4 and we want to get to 5, how much more do we need to add? Well done. We need to add an extra 1 in there. So I'm going to put it in for us. Now we have an equal group of 5. Let's have a look at the next one. 1, 2, 3. She's only put 3 in that group. How many more does she need to add? 3, 4, 5. So how many more? Well done. 2 extra. 1, 2. What I'm going to ask you to do now is, I would like you to continue that number track to show 5 groups of 5. So on your piece of paper, I would like you to draw the first 3 out, and then continue with the last 2. Don't worry about drawing cubes. You can just draw squares. As easy as that, if it's easier for you. Okay. Once you've completed, please ask your mummies and daddies to upload it onto Tapestry or onto our Facebook group for us to see what you have done. Okay, and I'm going to move on to the next one now. So I'm going to model, if you didn't have any templates at all and you were asked to make 2 groups of 2, I'm now going to show you how to do that. So first of all, we look at how many groups we need to make. So the first part of the question you need to focus on is the first bit here. 2 groups. So that means I have to draw 2 groups. 1 group, 2 groups. Okay, so you're going to draw 2 big enough circles that we can see. Okay, and then it tells you at the end how much is going to be in each circle. So of 2. So that means I need to add 2 into each. So I'm going to do circles because I like circles. 1, 2. In the first group, 1, 2 in the second group. So I have 2 groups of 2. Now I'm going to do the next one for us together. So what do you think I need to do first? Well done. So the first thing I need to do is have a look at what it tells me. So 4 groups of 5. So I'm going to underline, well, I'm going to highlight, you can underline the key word. So 4 groups. That means I have to draw how many groups? Well done if you said 4 at home. So I'm going to draw 4 circles. I'm going to try and draw them this time. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm running out of space here. quite tricky on a laptop. 4. 4 groups, and how many in each? Let's highlight the next bit of my problem. Of 5. So that means I need to put 5 in each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did you see that I only did the first group first? I did not do this. Because then I'll get a bit confused and I don't know how much is in each. Your best option is to make sure that you start in one group and then continue until you finish that full group. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That has one group of 5 in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another group of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another group of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I now know that every one of my groups have 5 in it. For me to double check, I'm just going to have a look how many groups I needed. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well done. I can now count this or make an addition sentence. So I've got 5 plus another 5. Plus, do you see I put one number per box? Another 5. And then my final group of 5, goes in at the end. And then my equal symbol. And I can count it a lot easier. Let's count together. 5, 10, 15, 20. Well done. And remember, we do one number per box. And there is my number of total amount for 4 groups of 5. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is at every point of these questions, please pause the video and complete the answers on a piece of paper. You can even make it yourself. So if you have some pencils at home, you could make this problem and then write the answers underneath. And I bet you all have some cookies at home that you could use to represent this picture as well. So please try and represent as best as you can and then try and solve the question. So that is number 1. Please now pause. I'm going to go on to the next one. Okay. Question number 2 is very similar to what we've just done. Kim is drawing 5 equal groups of 6. So we've got a big number this time. Can you finish drawing Kim's images, please? So we want 5 equal groups of 6. So instead of drawing it, you could use the objects that I asked you to get at the beginning to make a replication of this problem. Okay, so don't worry about drawing it out. Please use objects to show. Okay. Question number 3. So Ron and Mo have some cherries. Who has made equal groups and how do we know that? So please discuss with your mummies or daddies about this problem and then try and show me how you know the answer. I'm going to move on to the next question. And then finally, like we did just now, use the objects that you collected at the beginning to represent these different equal groups for me, please. So you will do 5 equal groups of 3, 3 equal groups of 5, 4 equal groups of 6, and 2 equal groups of 10. I would love to see all of your work uploaded onto Tapestry, or as I said at the beginning, you can have a look on the Facebook page and upload onto there. And I look forward to teaching you again tomorrow with a new lesson, which is adding equal groups.